Okay, so let me ask you something. When you look at your home, what do you see? Do you see a place that just costs you money every month? Or do you see a powerful engine for building real wealth? Seriously, the difference between those two perspectives could totally change your financial future.
So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through 5 key ideas that will completely reframe how you think about owning a home. We're talking about turning a monthly expense into a dynamic wealth-building asset. All right, first up, let's get right to the heart of it. There is a huge, fundamental difference between a home that drains your bank account and one that actually fills it up. And that shift is everything.
So you've got two paths. On one hand, you have the traditional single-family home. For most people, that's a liability. But on the other hand, you have the multi-unit property, which is literally designed from day one to be an asset. They're two completely different games.
And you know what? The math here is so simple, it's beautiful. Look at the left. A $3,000 mortgage with no other income, that's you losing $3,000 every single month. But now, look at the right. Same mortgage, but you've got $3,200 in rent coming in from your other units. That completely flips the script. You're not losing money, you're actually making $200 a month. That's cash in your pocket.
See, with a typical single-family rental, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. If that one tenant decides to leave, poof, 100% of your rental income is gone, just like that. Plus, your equity builds super slowly, and the financing options, well, they just aren't as good for growing.
So, the big question is, how do you make that jump from a liability to an asset? Well, this is where a brilliant strategy called house hacking comes in. It is all about turning your home into an income machine.
So what in the world is house hacking? It's really straightforward. You buy a property that has 2, 3, or maybe 4 units, you move into one of them, and you rent out the others. And just like that, your tenant's rent money goes to work for you, paying down your mortgage and your other bills.
This is basically the blueprint for how to live for free. You can start with a down payment that's way lower than you think. Then, your tenants are covering the mortgage, the insurance, the taxes, the whole shebang. Any cash that's left over at the end of the month, that's yours. And here's the best part. Your tenants are pretty much buying the building for you. And because they're helping pay down a bigger loan, you're building equity 2 to 4 times faster. It's huge.
Okay, this all sounds amazing, right? But it brings up the one big question on everyone's mind. How in the world do you pay for a multi-unit property in the first place? Let's talk about the money. This is the number one thing that stops people, isn't it? The assumption that you need this giant 20 or 25% down payment. But what if I told you that for your first multi-unit, that's just not true?
Right here, this is the game changer. An FHA loan, which is designed for people who are going to live in the property, lets you buy a place with as little as 3.5% down, just 3.5%. That one number right there makes this whole strategy possible for so many more people.
The secret is understanding this little detail. Properties with 2 to 4 units are considered residential. That means you get to use awesome residential loans like FHA. As soon as you hit 5 units, boom, it becomes a commercial property. And that means much higher down payments and tougher terms. Oh, and get this is the best part. Lenders will actually let you use the projected rent from the other units to help you qualify for the loan. It's like having a superpower.
Now, just because the financing is accessible doesn't mean the process is simple. There are definitely some unique hoops to jump through. And that's why it is absolutely essential to work with a mortgage specialist who really gets multi-unit properties. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't go to your family doctor for heart surgery, would you? Of course not. It's the same logic here. You need someone who lives and breathes this specific type of financing to make sure everything goes smoothly. So, for example, if you're in the Chicago area, you've got an expert like Cuevas. He's the VP of mortgage lending at Guaranteed Rate, and his whole world is helping new investors navigate this exact process.
And you can see why that expertise matters when you hear what his clients say. Miriam, a first-time buyer, talks about his amazing fast work and how he answered all questions she had. That's the kind of support that gives you the confidence to actually do this.
So let's say you do it. You get the keys. What happens next? This is where we stop talking about just buying a home and start talking about building serious long-term wealth. It is all about the incredible compounding power of owning multi-units. And this chart just shows it all. A single-family home? Yeah, your equity grows at a nice steady pace. But a multi-unit property?
That thing is like a rocket ship because your tenants are helping you pay down a much larger mortgage. Your own net worth is growing 2, 3, even 4 times faster. It's not even close.
And really, this is your first step to building a real portfolio. With just one purchase, you've added multiple units, your risk from a vacancy is way lower because you still have income from the other units, and then you get all the tax advantages, and you start building a real stream of passive income that works for you day and night.
So you've got to remember, house hacking isn't just some clever trick to get out of paying your mortgage. It's a strategic, foundational move. It's how you build a real base for lasting financial freedom.
Which, brings us right back to where we started. After seeing all this, I want you to really think about your own situation. Is your home just a cost? Or could it be the single most powerful wealth-building tool you'll ever own? Is your home working for you?